the expectations on me are going to be sky high.
It's win or go home.
Everybody, happy Friday. The Sixers avoid elimination with a win over the Raptors in Game 6. Game 7 is Sunday in Toronto, which means the Bucks will have to wait until Wednesday night for Game 1 of those Eastern Conference Finals. Max Kellerman, Who's a bigger threat to Milwaukee, Sixers or Raptors?
The answer is the Raptors. The Raptors were the better team in the regular season. The Raptors will be a bigger threat to the Bucks in the conference finals. Stephen A., I'll leave the Sixers to you. They have a lot of high-end players. I realize that seems to fly in the face of my star system, right? Embiid's a 5-star guy, and Butler's 4, and Simmons could be 4 and everything. And what about the Raptors? The Raptors got a 5-star guy, an MVP in Kawhi, and a bunch of 3.5s. Who else is really an all-star? They have better than average starters, but not quite all-stars. But they got a lot of those guys. But Stephen A., what it comes down to for me is there's some similarities between the Bucks and the Raptors. And the number one similarity is, I know you say KD is one of the 2 best players on earth along with LeBron. I'm saying LeBron not playing right now in the playoffs to remind us that he's the best. And we don't know if he will be best by next year's playoffs, given his age. He's laid down the baton. Who wants to pick it up? And KD has tried, no doubt. He's hurt right now. We'll see. He's right in the conversation. But I believe the 2 best players in the world are Kawhi Leonard and the Greek Freak. And that's the clash of the Titans right there. That will determine who is LeBron's successor, in fact. By the way, both significantly younger than KD, or obviously LeBron. And that's why I think when it comes down to it, it's the tougher matchup. They're similar. They can shoot well. They can play defense. During the regular season, those were the 2 best teams. But what it comes down to is they got a Hulk. They got a Kawhi. And that's what makes them extra dangerous. That premium above Embiid or anyone is what makes them extra dangerous to the Bucks.
It's interesting you missed this because I disagree with you. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm not sold on the Toronto Raptors collectively. I'm sold on Kawhi Leonard. But when and Pascal Siakam, you've openly acknowledged he's been a bit haphazard. Then you look at their miniature guards like Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet. Both guys can play, but because of their size, their diminutive size, I think that bodes very, very badly for them against, Milwaukee. Because outside of Bledsoe, they've got to deal with size all over the place. The Philadelphia 76ers don't have that problem, number one. Number 2, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons. That could be formidable as well. Number 3, here's why I think that I'm shocked you missed this. Max Kellerman, did you know that the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks played 3 times during the regular season? Do you know that Milwaukee won 2 of those 3 games? In the first game that they went up against one another in October, the Greek Freak had 32, and Embiid, the loser, had 30. In the second game they went up against each other, March 17th, Embiid had 40. The Greek Freak lost, but he dropped 52. In the third game, April 4th, when they played against each other, the Greek Freak had 45. Embiid had 34. In other words, what I'm saying to you is when we talk about stars and we know what Kawhi Leonard brings to the table and we know what questionable health exists with Joel Embiid and what have you. But in terms of all of that chirping and celebrating when things are going great for you or whatever, who's the one player you don't want to do that against if you're the Greek Freak? I'm saying if you're Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. You don't want to do that to the Greek Freak. And guess what? Who's the one player that doesn't care? It would be Joel Embiid. So it's beautiful when I look at it from that perspective.
It's a fun matchup.
Again, it's a nice matchup. The size, obviously, the Sixers would need to shoot better from the perimeter because that's certainly not a problem that Milwaukee has displayed throughout this postseason. But when you look at the size, the starting 5 that the Sixers throw out there and how they match up, and not only do you love that, but me speaking to the Sixers, they actually want Milwaukee. They've been saying it before the playoffs. They're like, we think we can take them. Yeah. They were worried more about Toronto than they were about Milwaukee. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that regard. And then last but not least, of course, I don't have global entry. So I'm rooting for Philly. We know that. I'm being very, very personal in that. I don't have global
Sixers do present Milwaukee with some problems. We saw it. The games were exciting. They were entertaining. They were interesting and competitive. And the Freak and Embiid went at it I thought Embiid actually did a very good job defending the second to last game against Antetokounmpo, better than Ben Simmons, which was surprising to me. Embiid's a great defensive
No. You mean
player.
the first game, because the second game is when the Greek Freak had 52.
No, yeah, but was it the 50?
It was 52. He had 52.
There was a game
looking at it right
there
here.
was a game where Antetokounmpo put up huge numbers, but when Embiid was guarding him, he was stymied. And it may have been that game, or it may have been another game.
Or
when
it may have
Ben
been the next
Simmons
game,
was
April
guarding
4th,
him,
when he dropped
it wasn't
45.
as good. Right, maybe it was that one. I don't know. It's 45, 52. He's had a lot of huge games. That's why I think he's the MVP. But the Raptors are a cohesive unit who've been playing together for a while. And even Milwaukee, you think about Milwaukee right now, I think their best lineup, and except for the Hamptons 5 and Golden State, Brogdon, Middleton, Freak, Mirotic, Lopez, Bledsoe and Hill and these guys off the bench. I don't know what you do with that 5. I'm not even talking about Bledsoe. I mean, just those. That's Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, but I don't know if you should.
Lights out
Excuse
around
me.
them.
I don't know if you should include Brogdon that much, even though he came back. Plantar fascia. I mean, that's no joke.
Painful.
And so you never know how much you can trust in terms of his minutes that he's going to log.
By the way, to me, that's the whole key to Milwaukee. That's the whole key to Milwaukee. How much Brogdon are you really getting? And can Mirotic really be fully Mirotic? If that stuff comes together, I think they're going to win the title. Maybe even if it doesn't.
I got another
The Raptors, though, are similarly constructed in many ways.
Well, Molly,
and I think it's a better
Yeah,
matchup.
Molly, I think as of this morning,
Uh-huh.
as of this morning right now, I think it's safe to say the Milwaukee Bucks should be the favorites to win the title.
I agree.
As of
I'm
this
with you,
morning,
too.
because of the injury to Kevin Durant, and because I don't think Houston would beat Milwaukee.
And they're done with their series. They're the team that's done with their series.
But is that a good thing? That's what I was actually going to ask you guys. Is that a good thing? Now they're going to have a full week off between eliminating Boston.
Well, it's
before
good
they
because
start?
of Brogdon. It's good because of Brogdon.
Exactly.
All right.
Brogdon. Who looked good, by the way. I did not think he'd be that well integrated and that far along physically in his first game back. He looked really good.
Yeah, but take into account he was playing against a Boston team that had clearly quit.
Yeah.
Oof.
All right, guys. Let's leave it on that note. Coming up after the break, are LeBron James days in LA numbered? The fellas will tell you that. And coming up later in the show, Stephen A. will tell you why a loss tonight closes the championship